All right, we're here with Robert Smasne of Grandview, Washington. Robert, say hello to the folks.
Hey.
Robert, tell us a little bit about what you do. Like, I'm thinking there's a lot of wine drinkers in Washington that probably have no idea that you're the rock star behind so many successful brands. I mean, give us a quick snapshot of what it is you do.
Rock star is really good, but so for myself, I have 4 labels. I have Smasne Cellars, Farm Boy, Almatera, and Table Dance, and then I consult or make wines for 22 other wineries in the Pacific Northwest. So, very busy guy. I love to make wines. It's my passion in life. So.
And you make them all there in Grandview?
Most of the wines I try to make in Grandview. I make wines in Walla Walla and other areas, but I try to keep it all in-house in my building in Grandview. So,
what are some of your labels that people might recognize on the store shelf?
That's tough because...
no, I mean your own personal labels.
My personal labels are Smasne, and then Farm Boy, and then Almatera.
Okay.
Outside of that, some of the wineries I can't say that I make their wines, but Guard Vintners, Upland Estates, Skylight, Northwest Cellars are like my major focuses. So
you're 5th generation in Grandview?
I'm 4th generation.
4th generation.
My kids are 5th generation.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what got you personally passionate about winemaking.
It's everyone asks me how I got involved. So I grew up on a farm in the Yakima Valley. My father and his dad planted grapes in the 50s, planted first wine grapes in the 70s. I grew up right across the road from the Otis Vineyard and really liked tasting grapes and doing that. I went off to college, got a double Bachelor of Science, and then went directly to work for a winery. And it's really just my passion in life and what I love to do. So.
Do you remember what your first wine was back in your early days that first turned the light bulb on for you?
Probably my first wine was one of David Lake's early releases. And it just probably off the top of my head would be a Wyckoff Vineyard.
Okay.
So, and just my family had it and just tasted it, and that'd be my first wine.
Cool. Where do you see Washington wine as a whole going here in the next 5 to 10 years, especially as it pertains to current economic trends, what people are buying, and what our potential is as an industry?
I think the Washington wine industry is, just on the cusp of blooming and expanding. That's why I work with so many different wineries, just really getting out there and tasting what we can do. I think Washington and the quality aspect is phenomenal. I think that as a winemaker, we have to be really conscientious of producing wines that are value-oriented right now with the economy. So not trying to overprice our wines, but I think it's just different consumer-friendly. So trying to create wines that are value for quality.
What are some of the things you think Washington State can do to compete globally with regions like Argentina, Spain, and Portugal, and those kind of places?
I think continue to expand on the varietals that we're doing and really compete with them based off of what they're trying to do. And I think what we have benefits us is we could produce a lot of different varietals at a super high quality status. Globally, I think that we still need to be very conscious of our price points. I think we try to tend to go too high for the value of our wines.
How do we go about doing that, though?
It has to do with working with the vineyards, trying to cut costs, everything in-house. I mean, think about it, Washington, you use Carmenere, I make a Carmenere, mine's at $30. I mean, you get amazing Carmenere from different regions a lot cheaper, so really got to kind of, if we're going to mark them outside of here, be very, very conscious of what we're doing.
And make sure the quality's backing it up.
Quality, yeah.
Right. What are some of your personal favorite wine regions right now outside of Washington?
Outside of Washington, that's a tough one. I think some of the up and coming, like Chile, Argentina. I think South Africa is doing some good things, but I think it's with every wine region in the world that there's good wines, bad wines, and just you need to fill them out and find a wine that you really like and go with it. So.
Do you think Washington State will ever be able to compete with California in the variety of Zinfandel?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, Zinfandel in Washington State is like not planted widely. I use Alderidge as an example. Zinfandel's from there. I think what winemakers that are getting that fruit, they're doing amazing things, but it's in a different style than California.
Right. Well, we can't compete with 100-year-old vines.
Yeah, but
you know?
I mean, but still, we're in a different. It's like we don't make wines to compete with California. We make wines that are unique here for Washington.
Right.
They can compare them to California, but they'll never be the same. Right. So
totally different animal.
Yeah, just a different thing.
Is there any Washington State Zinfandel off the top of your head that you actually like?
Probably the only one that I really appreciate is Marie from Forgeron. I think she's doing a really good job with the Zinfandel from Alderidge. So.
Yeah. So there's some potential promise there. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not a lot of winemakers are playing around with it.
If you had to fashion yourself after a particular style of winemaking, what would that be?
Ooh, that's tough. So I think my winemaking is it stems from obviously my background of farming. You know, fourth generation. I think that a wine starts in the vineyard. I mean, I really believe in that and quality in the vineyard. But I think that wine's it's a passion. It comes from the heart. So wine starts in the vineyard, but really truly great wines start from what I want to do artistically. To focus on a certain winery, probably my favorite winery would be Betts. I really love his style.
So he'd be like one of the guys you definitely look up to in the
Yeah, I
industry.
look up to him. I mean, I think that his wine's quality-wise and what he's trying to do is not overblown. He's not that really ripe, jammy style. He's the more elegant, refined. That's kind of how my wines go.
So you just recently tasted last weekend, and I got a chance to taste it. Your first reserve. Tell us a little bit about that project and why you decided to go forth with a potentially $110 bottle in this economy.
So for me, you know, a reserve. You know, and I'm going on my 14th, 15th year making wines in Washington. It's just for my label, I've never made a reserve. I just been working with some vineyards that I really believe in and trying to find how they all interact together. The wine's phenomenal. I just thought it really married together. And I probably won't make a reserve every vintage, but I thought an 07 vintage is phenomenal. And I think when the 07 wines start to come out, that consumer will see how good a vintage that actually was.
Oh yeah, I mean, I heard Bob Betts today saying to numerous people that in his whole tenure of winemaking, he really thinks 07 will go down as one of the top 3 vintages ever in Washington. Is that good? So
I think 07's a great vintage. I've released a couple wines from 07. You know, my Syrah, the Block 3, named one of the best Syrahs made in America. The Carmenere, the new 07, which won 2 golds. Just, it's going to be a really good vintage all the way around for Washington. Very good.
Cool. And then that reserve gets released this fall, right?
Yeah, the reserve. So I'm pre-tasting it. Futures is 75. When it comes out, it's probably gonna be at least 110.
Yeah.
It'll be late fall.
Definitely a wine people probably want to lay down for a while.
Yeah, lay down. Be around 10 years, somewhere in there.
And you released 35 cases. You've sold 13 so far.
Yeah, I only released 35 cases, so it's you know, my winery is about making a lot of small lots of very interesting, really good wines. So that was 35 cases. I made 45. I'll keep 10 for myself. And it'll
so if people want more than that, they'll come beat you up for it, right? Yeah.
Compound me.
Right. So, well, cool, dude. Thanks for your time. I'm going to let you go because we're coming to the 10-minute mark. And, well, you know, YouTube, they want 10-minute videos. So thanks a lot, Rob.
Definitely.
Take care.
It's good.